Monty. What's up, man? How's the audio on this thing? I'm not really listening to the stream, so I don't know if the music's too loud or what. Let me know. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I thought I had to do, or it was about time to do, I don't know, sexy comic book lady. So I was actually avoiding it, doing the big, angry, muscled action heroes. I was getting rusty with my sexy comic ladies. Monty, can you hear me? Okay, good. Well, yeah. Thanks. So I'm putting as much cheesecake as I can into this variant cover. Audio is low. Okay, let's see if I can fix that. Hold on a second. Okay, is that any better? I'm still trying to figure out this whole OBS studio mess. You can be my guinea pig, so at least I'll know what settings I need to use next time. I think I went really conservative on everything so that way I wouldn't blow people out of the water with my audio. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. If you ever get your streaming set up, we can dual stream. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. A little louder? All right. Okay, louder you got? I didn't turn it up to 11 or anything, but how does that sound? All right, cool. Yeah, I really fussed with the image quality. I used a sharpen filter on it because I'm using an old, golly, iPhone 6S for my camera, and it doesn't output in super great because I'm having to actually use the lightning port with cable and everything like that. I think it's, oh god, it might do almost HD, but not quite. So I've got a old Samsung laying around, I think, that can do 4K through the USB-C, so I'll have to get an adapter for that and change over to that. But for now, it's the old iPhone. Okay, yeah. On the sound, I got the vocal mic clipping into the yellow, and the background music is still in the green, so I think that's good. I just don't have to feel like I'm yelling over the background music. I've got different channels, and I'm pulling audio from different sources. I feel like a studio master in here. Not really, but yeah. Doing this occasionally and forgetting everything in between sessions really makes me appreciate Mitch, his commitment to getting his live streams out all the time, and that's how he can do it, sounding such swagger and ease. I always feel like I'm starting over, kind of awkward every time I try to do a live stream, because I'm like, how do I do this again? Oh yeah, that thing, this program. On top of trying to concentrate on drawing. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I don't need 4K. I'll just keep it at 1080. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and it's funny, this character design started off as kind of a knockoff joke for the Extreme 90s challenge. And here I am trying to make her look sexy and do a really good job. I think Mitch warned me about that back in the beginning, but I didn't believe him, but here we are. Yeah, I have some cool things in store for the last third of the comic book. This character, her name is PsyOp, and she's got a surprise or two coming. Actually, all the characters do. There's kind of a weird, without spoiling anything, surprise reveal for each character in sort of the last part of this issue or this story. It's probably going to be a one and done. I say that, but That's the plan. And yeah, try to get the layers of the onion in there, as they say. There's a little bit of, it's a, like a lot of my stuff, it's a bit of a mishmash or a gumbo of deep set psychological influences, I guess, from early comic book, movie, stuff like that. So she's kind of a combo of a lot of different things. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely have to defer to Mitch on all things 90s extreme comic book live streaming. And doing this extreme comic thing has forced me to draw the same things over and over again. So it's forced me to be better, or improve, I should say, at least, on being able to get my materials looking right, like shiny leather and metal, which I still suck at, but I'm working on, and stuff like that. And trying to, so it doesn't all look the same, but it has some kind of look to it. Normally I would have just like, oh look, I'm gonna draw shiny leather for a couple of characters, neat, and then move on to something else, like trees or whatever, you know. And this has forced me to analyze it and try it over and over again to get better at it, without getting bored. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I've been really trying to, you know, let alone after 20 some odd years of not drawing anything and not being that great when I quit, anatomy, inking, composition, all the things all at one time in my mid-40s. It's been fun. I say that snarkily, but actually it has been fun. It's been really good for me. Really what had the most to do with it is putting down the marijuanas, the devil's lettuce, and instead of just riding that dopamine wave, actually like creating things for pleasure and fun. Now I get to draw boobs wrapped in leather.
Ladies and gentlemen, my subject is disturbed tonight. Her world is disturbed.
This pen only likes to go one way. Yeah, I understand that completely. That was kind of my crutch, is I just drew the fun stuff, the pinup, the action pose, the cool robot, maybe a little bit of background, but probably not much. A little bit of cool lighting when it was dramatic, but not much. And yeah, having to do not only just learn basic storytelling and sequential movement, but all of the different things in perspective, which is what I suck at the most. You notice I don't do a lot of perspective work, and that's when I feel I'm kind of comfortable with my figures again, to move on to is backgrounds and perspective and building scenes and being able to move my camera around my comic page in different ways and interesting ways. The problem is I don't actually read a lot of comics anymore, so I don't have the reference that I should. I've collected comics and picked up a bunch of old stuff, but because I always wind up picking up collectible things, I don't like getting my greasy mitts all over them, so I don't actually read them. So I actually need to like up my digital library and just study the masters again and just see how they tell a story. You know, not just drool over Bernie Wrights and inks, but actually like look at page construction and things like that, and storytelling, and who's got the coolest looking panels, you know, beyond Sam Keith or whatever, and really look at the good storytellers. But right now it's just, can I draw action people doing action things? Cool. Later, Monty. Come on, Combo. Just open you. I've been sitting in the pack for a while.
shall hypnotize you.
Excuse me. Oh, back. Like Bob Russ says, we're making some big decisions here. We're just gonna put some happy little rendering for this metal. Put it anywhere you want. It's a lot of power in our world here. A lot of things happening over here, we don't know what they are. I'm restraining just going online and looking at other artists for reference, because then I'm trying to not do the, can't reinvent the wheel, but I'm trying not to do the exact same kind of thing that everyone else does for these materials. And it doesn't always work, but I've come up with some pretty cool little signature things that I wouldn't have done if I was copying everybody else. Well, that's good. Good helping your family, getting the food in the house. Of course, if it's anything to do with food, I'm always willing to help too. To top it off here, my new Tombo, this one isn't cooperating so well. 1 out of 50, I guess it's not bad. I'm trying really hard not to get greasy residue all over my paper, but I think that's the problem is. Oh, well, great. I'm glad I can be an inspiration to somebody for something. Fantastic. Here comes the big decision. Yeah, I can clean that up with that word. We'll let that simmer down there and cook for a while, see how it looks to me later. I don't have a colorist to leave it all to. Okay, yeah, sure. I was wondering if the music was too loud. There, how's that? Maybe a little bit more. Just a touch. There. Yeah, I didn't want the music to be not quite as low as Mitch's, but not loud either. My pencils are getting more complete. Here, I have the pencils here somewhere. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's still in the scanner. Okay. Here's the pencils. And this was a lot more pencil work than I normally do. But since it's a female, you can't just like throw veins and more lines to make it look cool. You have to be very minimalist with especially the flesh areas and the shape, so it's not just a thing, but it like got to give some kind of, minor boner response. So I was really careful with my shapes and did a lot of Jim Lee style erasing and redoing. But as you can see, it's pretty blank. Yeah. And then, right or wrong, I just go in there and start making stuff up on the fly, as Mitch says. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But it makes me not overthink my pencils and have to be like, get aggravated with them or frustrated or lose my patience with my pencils. And again, if it's not perfect, oh well. So, I guess maybe hopefully it's building some other skill. I don't know. Yeah, I want to make the music just to be in the background. So we'll go less than half of the mic track and see if that helps. Yeah, because I don't like to yell. I have a tendency to mumble, especially if I'm on camera talking to people I don't really know. Well, yeah, digital, you can just go crazy and erase and go crazy and erase. But these guys, you kind of have to sort of have a plan and get it right or get it close the first time. I mean, I'm guilty. I'll admit, after scan things into Photoshop, I can go in there and touch up a few things or adjust a few things, but I try not to do that. I try to get it on the paper pretty much how I want it and try not to fake too much in background stuff or whatever with digital, but I'll use any tool. Just like with the white ink, some people call white ink cheating. I don't consider that cheating. It's another ink pen, it's just in a different color. I don't know if Bernie Wright's never used white ink, but we're not all Bernie. Let's see here. Can hear the music when you aren't speaking, but can barely hear it when you talk over it. Yeah, that's fine because I think that's just the nature of the OBS studio because I'm not actually recording like the music in the background in the room. I have the music playing on Apple Music and OBS is picking that up as an audio track and picking up my mic, the live mic in the room is a different audio track. So I'm not quite sure how they interact. Like if they can blend together at the same time or if OBS can only handle one at a time, I'm not really sure. digital. I try not to use all of the shortcuts that I can't do traditionally. Yeah, that's the problem with digital. Well, one of the benefits of digital, I guess, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Uh, Especially, I have that when I'm coloring. If I try to color something or just create something digitally, yeah, I can just fake all kinds of textures and things and stuff. And it's like, but if I had to do that on paper with like traditional materials, I couldn't do it. So yeah, the digital thing is just, it's mostly to clean up my inks, to do my set up my pages, clean things up, format things. It's kind of how I use Photoshop. I don't like just raw create things in Photoshop, and I especially don't have a good drawing tablet to be using a pen to actually draw or ink in digitally on the tablet. So paper and ink it is for me. I don't think I'll ever go full digital unless, who knows, all the tools and toys they're going to come up with over the next few years. AI, it's going to be the devil's temptation. Is going to be hard to resist, especially all the animated stuff they can do now with your drawing. You can just take a nice color piece of art and put it in there and tell it what to do. And suddenly you've got a cartoon or a movie of your artwork, and it looks pretty amazing nowadays. And it's like that's really a hard temptation to resist. Like somebody should totally take Mitch's colored pages or colored covers from his Blood Force comic and throw it into one of those AI filter blenders and let it turn it into like some cinematic animated thing, and you get to see Blood Force like in the theaters. That would be awesome. But like again, it's the devil. It's Armageddon. Yeah. See, I don't actually have my music playing through any big speakers into the room. It's only playing through the computer, like into my headphones here. I've got these guys here, and I don't use this mic. I have a separate lapel mic in the room because I can move it around and it's not sticking off the side of my face. And so I just have the music playing. I can hear it as a track, and it's playing through OBS. OBS is picking it up, but I have no idea what the levels are or what it sounds like. I'm not recording this and like re-listening to it. I guess I should. If I'm gonna be doing this, I should get it right. Yeah, because OBS can pick up this, they call it system sound, like whatever music is playing through the PC, and you can capture that separate from your mic input. And that way, I was trying to avoid getting the sort of tinny background sound. Yeah, AI. It's getting harder and harder to tell. Like it's just getting used for everything, like literally everything. It's the new shiny toy that's saving business owners money, and so then of course it can do no wrong, and you know it's going to be Skynet, and we're going to be crunching around on human skulls before too long. But hey, for now, hey, cool, we can animate funny things. Okay, so yeah, the blacks are looking pretty good. Let's see. Unfortunately, with this character, without giving any reveals away, and it helps me out. It's kind of a win-win. Her skin is never going to be rendered with a lot of detail. She's always going to be kind of have like a white, washed out, glowy look to her, no matter how detailed or moody the other parts of the drawing will be. And it's for a reason. It also helps me so I don't like on the female characters. I don't have to try to like put shadow and shading and make that's really hard to do. And so yeah, there's reasons, but also it's it helps make her pop off the page, but it also it keeps me from having to like render these really soft shapes and ruining them with lots of hatching. I, I should do more hatching. I have a lack of hatching in my drawings. I kind of lean on the old style type of rendering where it's just black and white. There's not a lot of gray in here, which I should probably have some more gray. But we are baby steps. Baby steps to greatness. Here. Yeah, that was the thing I always had a problem with is over detail, like over hatching. And man, for certain textures or materials, as they say, it's perfect. Like you can't do enough of it. But for very particular, if you really want it to look right, like you can't go crazy. I mean, some of these guys who just can just bravely jump in there and start putting black all over a face, or a guy's moody face, yeah, but a woman's face, in brighter lighting, and that's something a skill I'm learning, because I'm trying not to. I guess technically I'm trying to be a professional, just leave it all to the damn colors. But let's be real. But I'm trying to learn how to not like turn it into a pencil drawing, because that's really easy with a pencil. Man, you can get all those light, like how my blue lines, these light subtle shades, and it makes it. Yeah, but you turn that into ink without it looking weird or ruining something. Yeah, it's totally different. So I'm just kind of like, and also when I draw, I kind of draw like a sculptor. I kind of build the things, and I build and build, and I try not to overbuild or add on, because I really am thinking about these things in like a three-dimensional space, which helps, but also I kind of overthink things. I'm slow. Like I could never crank out 35 pages a month, like for years on end, or sometimes 70 pages a month because you're doing 2 books and covers and signings. And I don't know how those guys could do that. I have no idea, but and make it look fantastic. But yeah, like I take too long on stuff, but it has a nice look to it. But again, I don't think it'd be good for a monthly title. So I think that's pretty good on her. I need to put a few details in here or there, but I guess it's time for the background. Hmm. Okay. Oh yeah, the music stopped. Hold on a second. Let's see. Gotta play things that won't get the YouTube algorithm mad at me. We'll play this. That's not too easy. It's only 14 minutes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know. Like, I give myself the opposite of deadlines on this thing. It's supposed to have been done a year ago, but it's just one of those things where I'm trying to balance my work life with drawing, because man, when you work like long shifts 5 days a week, I'm about you, but my brain is, I'm not as young as I used to be, so my brain turns into mush. Like I'd love to hop on here every Friday night and do a live stream, but man, I to be able to concentrate and have the energy to do it right, slow down, and not just get tired and mess things up. It's tough. Paying the bills that kill, man. They take all my brain powers. All right, so now the background I'm going to be kind of doing, it's going to be her powers, which I won't tell you what they are exactly yet because that's a spoiler, but it's going to be her glowy, curbly, crackly, spooky fire stuff going on all over the background with a black background, because I'm leaving room for the S.C.R.A.P.S title and my Crimson House logo. I'm trying to anyway. Doing the classic cover the logo a little bit, but it's a variant. It's fine. So all of this needs to be interesting, and it's going to thin out here and be dark, be black at the top. So let's see. Okay. kind of make it up as I go along, and then I'll figure out something that I like here. A shape, something that looks awesome. So here we can come back up to the thing. That'll be black. Something kind of spooky. Some Kirby things coming off of stuff. I don't know. This can't just be, it's gotta look cool. It's gotta be awesome.
You've had me in deep hypnosis, and I asked you not to.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a fire. Let's see. Yeah, floating Kirby thing there, cool. Gotta come up with this stuff. Looks really. Pieces coming off. Pieces coming up because it's fire. It's gotta come up. All the way. Cover up that title. That's edgy. That's cool. That's breaking new ground. Except not Crimson House. Can't cover the Crimson House logo. Can't cover that. Okay. So here we can really get a shape in here so we can kind of tell what's going on. So she's hot. She's so hot. She's on fire. Fire there. A little something going on here. So this is all. It's all black. We'll do like little things. Might even have to cover her a little bit now. Let's see. Yeah, because I kind of have an idea. I know what the power effect is, but having to represent that so it comes across to the reader or to the viewer. And to have, you know, some kind of mood to it. Not just be generic, glowy stuff. Yeah. This is where, again, big decisions. We're just going to Bob Ross and we're just going to put a big tree in here. Just jump on in. I guess I can look at what I've done before. Far away, close up. Put a little bit more to it than that. Okay. All right. Yeah, happy little fire effects. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, here we go. You know what? What am I doing? Oh, this is the cool image, but I got this practice page right here. Just right here. This is very Bob Ross, but let's see. Some crackling. Crackling. It's not exactly Spawn plasm, but I know color would make it look really awesome, and then if I was going to do that, I would just do a minimal outline because it would all be color. But these covers will be color, I think, unless I'm going to do the ashcan fluorescent day glow paper and just still have it black and white. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be smoke. It's not fire exactly. It's the curvy circles, which I'm not going to do.
I know only one way to judge a man's brilliance, and that's by the size of his back.
I think we're just going to go with the old spawn plasmas, whatever you call it. I color secretly. I close all the curtains and hide away, turn off all the lights, and I attempt coloring digitally. I don't do it traditionally because I can do. I've oil painted it a little bit, but I haven't taken that and applied it to figures, just landscapes, which is really easy because there's no like you can get away from hard shapes. But coloring digitally, I've done, and it's okay. My color theory or my color is weak. I just haven't done any. I've only practiced it. I haven't really tried and done anything good with it. So, I'd leave that up to the guys like Lee who can just crank that stuff out and make it look pretty good. Just out of habit, almost talent, but I don't have the hours in Photoshop coloring like that I should. So I'm gonna attempt like one of my covers, and if I'm not happy with it, I might farm it out, just the covers, to somebody that I find on somewhere, maybe DeviantArt or someplace like that, or who knows where. But okay, this is the issue. This needs to pop. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, your digital color looks great. I will never claim to be a colorist or just a colorist in general until I feel like I've gotten really good with painting landscapes with oil or something. But doing this awesome comic book stuff, when I get to a certain part of this power effects, I want it to kind of look like fire. Like it up here, it's like going up. Kind of playing around over here because I can always fix it with black. Just black it out. But And it's gonna have an indie comic look just because of the talent level, so it's okay if it looks a little, is it contrived or whatever the word is. It'll be alright. Try not to overthink it, just have fun. Just keep this consistent. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Now we're getting something here. A weird effect. Ah. Okay. Figure something out. Yeah, camera helps. I can look up and kind of just helps me with my black-white balance. You know, it's like an immediate different point of view. So that's kind of handy. And just for fun, I'm gonna start blacking this in a little early, just so I can, before I get too far with this, to see if I like the effect. Because I can change it. Since this Tombow isn't doing exactly what I like, it's gonna get turned into a paintbrush. Actually, for this kind of effect, it's doing okay, but that's right. I don't really feel like breaking out a Sharpie, which I don't like the color, or a brush, because then I gotta get careful with not spilling ink everywhere. This also, I have to make it look interesting because I can't just use the line weight. All this black hides the line weights of what I just made, so I have to like add some cool shapes to make it look interesting again. Lately I've just been using the two Tombows, this one and the soft tip, these two. Mostly because I don't have a variety of microns. I really don't like Pigma microns. I don't like these guys. I don't like the way the tips work, especially on the fatter ones. The 0-1, the little stuff's okay for really fine work, but again, I'm not really doing fine hatching on this, and it's kind of it's big format. So I've kind of just fallen back on only using the blue and the black, or I should say the hard and the soft brush pen Tombows. These guys. which isn't good. I know I should use more tools, but I can kind of get what I want with this. I'm sure I'll get to the point where I'm going to start favoring needing finer. If I could get better cross hatching using some like what's it, the 8.8 microns or whatever. But I need to find a different brand because I just don't like the micron pins. To me, the tips feel kind of plasticky, and they, if you have any kind of roughness to your paper at all, the tips just disappear before the ink's gone. It's been my experience. I know it's like an industry standard. Everybody seems to use them, but I don't know. But now there's like dozens of competitors I can try. And Amazon will put all kinds of stuff on sale. Dick Blick Art Materials will put stuff on sale, so I can just try. Maybe like the Pentels or maybe even the Tombos. Maybe they have microns set. I don't know. But because I used to use only, I used to draw with things like pilot pens, just a 0.5 or 0.7 pilot pen, and just I didn't have any kind of variation in line width or line weight. I started using these a few years ago. Started using these brush pens, and now I'm addicted to the variation in line weight that I can get. It's like a kind of a cheat to get that brushed look. And the kind of things I've been drawing or the style I've been drawing and hasn't required finer work, finer lines. Let's see what this looks like. Stop there. That will give us an idea. And like this is not what this Tombow pen is made for, like painting in, brushing in large black areas, but it's alright, I got them on sale. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, I think that's working. Yeah, if I dig right over here, just reach right over, just it's on my drawing table in one of the little compartments. I have these delightful things that I've never even opened yet. I've got a couple bottles of really good ink, and yeah, one day when I get experimental, and you know what, I might fall in love with it and say, why wasn't I using this the whole time? But I'm just not there yet. I'm just trying to get better images in my head and then get those images onto paper pretty close. And then I will work with my materials and my tools and master, get to that point. Maybe. We'll see. For now, it's the Tombos all the way down. Occasionally, I will break out when I have a big area of black. I'll break out the ink in the brush just because it's just faster. But it's also kind of therapeutic in a noodle way. It wastes time. If I was doing this professionally, I would not be doing it this way. But you know what? We're filling time on camera, and this is a relaxing, therapeutic way to draw. Kind of like a coloring book thing. So millions of dollars selling coloring books. Stop there. I think I like this effect. And keep filling it in. Yeah. Yeah. This will work. It might evolve. I might do her power or effects different later, but for now, yeah, ridiculously detailed background power effects. That if I did have a colorist, it's going to drive them crazy. That's my goal. My ultimate goal in life is to cause permanent psychological and emotional damage to whatever colorist I can wrangle into attempting to color my artwork. We'll see. Cheap 8.5 by 11 printer paper. Yep. With brushes and nibs helps build confidence to move on to the better boards. Yes, that's why I have big stacks of this stuff hanging around because it's what I do my for example, since I give my hand a break here and the music's turned off. Let me see. I got it here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. For example, I start with like really light, fast, loose idea pages, like trying to come up with not only just practice my form real quick, but just like come up with something that I like. And then it's like, all right, yeah, trying to get to that, sexy pose mode. I was like, oh, I kind of like the arm under the boob thing. That's kind of cool. I was like, all right. So then I sketched out. Of course, then this came out. Of course, a rough of this came out. And I worked it on this piece of paper. That's why there's so much like graphite all over this because I erased a bunch and stuff. But I got that. And then I scanned this, my printer, into Photoshop, blew it up to 11x17, turned it blue, and printed it out. This. And then I will, because I'm an old person, I will scan this back into my computer, Photoshop, and remove all the blue lines, blacken everything up, and then it's done. And then I can claim to be a digital artist, mixed media, right? How much time? 83 minutes ago. All right, we got a few minutes. Let's set her aside. Okay, this will be the fun part of the live stream. That's what I'm going to try to do. It gives me good. I need you to give me a quick, easy prompt that I can take one of these markers and just fun draw out as fast as I can in the remaining like 10 minutes of the stream. Nothing crazy, but give me a prompt. Prompt me up here, Monty. What am I cooling off with? What am I, shaking it loose with here at the end of the stream? Zorro. Okay, Zorro. Zorro it is. Let me use my phone here to pull up a quick reference of Zorro. I know he's got a hat and a mask and a black shirt and some tight pants and like a sash and gloves and a sword, but it's been a long time since I've even thought about Zorro. That takes 2 seconds. What does Zorro look like? No, not anime Zorro, like Zorro. Come on, Google. Actual Zorro. There he is. Okay. Because I misspelled Zorro. That's my fault. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I see the hat. I see a mask. Here we go. Here's an old shot of Zorro with his guns and his sword. All right. Here comes Zorro. We're going to, you know what? We're going to get crazy. We're going to Kirby out a Zorro. RoboCop, the remake. Something Star Wars. No, no, you already got Zorro. You could have said RoboCop, the remake, the first time, and I would have gone with it. But we got Zorro. So let's see. We're just going to straight just pin to. Yeah, exactly. It's con practice. That's a good way to look at it, Money. I'm practicing my con work. I'm drawing all over the front of somebody's like currently valuable but in 1 year worthless comic book. And they're really excited about it. It's okay, we'll save this guy because he does light stuff good. I've got Sharpies that are like 20 years old. We got boxes of that crap. Oh, this one might be getting too old too. Yep. Okay. Next. You know what? We're gonna break out the big guns. The con marker. Here we go. Now we can crank out these commissions. $1,000 a piece. Get them done in about 30 minutes. Those guys, like Finch and stuff, they put some work into their commissions. They make bank, but you get a pretty awesome piece of artwork. What does this little shirt look like? Okay, he's got a cape. He's got his little Western shirt. Okay. See, you never knew you could take your wore out Sharpies to the con, make you tons of money. People pay good money for these effects. Expensive set of gradient French tone markers? No. No. Slap wore out ass Sharpie. You're helping me improve my fastball here, Mons. Gotta be prepared for that Zorro comic that's gonna come out and get me out there in the world. Oh, yeah. I have to do the kind of commentary? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's what they're paying for. They're not paying for the drawing. The drawing's shite. They want that experience. They want the Endraven touch. Not that kind of touch, but the artistic touch. The touch of creativity. Probably not that kind of touch either. Gotta get the infamous comic book shadow under the chin that actually doesn't ever happen in real life, according to Ryan Benjamin. Whatever it was I was watching. Technically, this it looks good, but it's not a realistic shadow. We're getting there. All right, so we'll call her action. So here we go. This one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you don't just throw these in the garbage. This is gold. This is liquid gold coming out of this 20-year-old Sharpie that I've had kicking around in a shoebox. We'll darken that up in a second. Boom, over the other side. This is our Zorro world. We can put wore out Sharpie marks wherever we want. We have that kind of power in this place. Uh-huh. Yep. 50 cents is a mark. 50 cents. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. Tell your brain. That's the inspiration. It's not to be remembered or leave a legacy or to have people make compilation books about our art after we're dead because we were so great. No, it's the sweet, sweet con commission dollars that keep us deep in booze and illicit drugs and pay the gas bill to get us to the next con. Oh yeah, you got to. I mean, Bob. I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel. That guy figured it out. Try Bob with a bit of jaded. Be careful. You want to cover up the high dollar faded marks. Almost done here. In the chest area to give it some weight here. Oh, no, there we go. We got to black it out. Didn't look right. Yeah, now we're getting there. A little bit more and we're done. Just a hair more. So, any money coming out of this one. Oh, yeah. I'm talking a lot of shit here, but I'm actually going to my first Comic Con. That's putting in the work, yeah. Uh, First actual ever Comic Con this May. I'm going to Fan Expo Denver. The wife's going. The mom unit's going. She's gonna be. I convinced her to dress up as Gandalf because she's gonna meet all the Lord of the Rings people and get them to sign her Lord of the Rings map of Middle Earth that she's had forever. And I'm going dressed as Jack Torrance from The Shining, and my wife is going as Sandman's Death. So it's gonna be fun. And Simon Bisley's gonna be there, and a few other folks, but mostly the one I care about is Bisley. I got logos and a couple other things for him to sign. And straight to the CBCS table for pressing, grading, and services. So I can be disappointed with my 8.5 that comes back in the mail a month later. It's going to be awesome. Too dark. Yep. And I'm not joking. These Sharpies are at least 20 years old, if not older. Okay, weight lines, weight lines. Got Make it dynamic. Oh, I need the editing for that. There we go. Yeah, no, that's the edge of the figure because you can't just leave a normal size line. We're gonna do it on one side because we know what we're doing. What is this? What is this little? Okay. Okay. Azoro. And I think that's going to do it for tonight. I really appreciate you hanging out and always drawing and being on the stream, dude. That's cool. And I have no idea when these are going to happen. I know they're going to happen regular, but I don't know if it's going to be on a schedule. But I will just try to let everybody know in the Discords and get my own Discord going and et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, so I hope to see you around. Yeah, I'm glad you could catch it too, man. And we have a good evening, and I'll see you here and on Mitch's stuff. Yeah, please do. Keep a lookout. All right, man. Later.